Okay. Yes. And
All right, CB, let's kick it off.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Sorry, let me get all my screens in the right places. So you're looking at what I'm looking at this morning. I want to thank everybody for joining us for family orientation today. We're, as always, super excited to have you here and be sitting on the verge or even in the midst of ski and snowboard season here in Summit County and getting Team Summit off and running for a great season. As Phil said, I'm CB Bechtel. I'm the executive director at Team Summit. This quote on your screen right now is from one of our former athletic directors, actually, and it says it says a lot that I believe in my life is true, and that is that I believe in the power of competitive snow sports to transform young lives beyond what takes place on the mountain and in the competitions, and I know that's true because somewhere around 1973, I went to a little ski area in Ohio, and at 5 years old, I knew that my goal in life was to have the keys to the ski area, and almost everything that I've done in my life has led me down that path and has been directed by that path. Not that everybody has those goals and dreams, but I certainly got the tools from being a ski racer that has allowed that to happen. This is, for me personally, year 36 of being a ski coach. 1985, I couldn't get a dependent pass anymore, and I was a broke college kid, and so I started teaching and coaching skiing. And I've learned a lot over those years of by being able to share my passion for skiing, snowboarding with other people. And Team Summit obviously has provided me one of literally the best opportunities available in the entire world to be able to continue to do that. So really special place, and just an honor to be able to be part of such an amazing organization. So I want to start off with a little business note that is not exactly good news, but I think you need to know this because normally getting your team coat is a big deal at family orientation, and here we are at family orientation, and our coats are still sitting at a dock waiting to get loaded somewhere in Asia. So we are victims of the supply chain crisis that's happening in North America right now, and I'm not even going to share with you the timeline at this point, because every time, as soon as I share the timeline, our manufacturer is going to call me and tell me it's another week later. So we aren't going to have our coats when we start our intro and depot programs. I do know that for sure. And so be patient with us. Layer your kids up with what you have. For the younger kids in our intro programs, we've got some bibs, and we're going to put bibs on the kids so we can keep an eye on them and keep them together. But coats are an important thing at Team Summit for a couple reasons. One, keeping the kids together and finding your groups when you're out there coaching. And there's this nice little picture of one of our Free Ski Devo groups, kids and the coaches all wearing their coats, and you can see and tell that they're a group and they're together and they're a team. The picture below is actually not coats, it's t-shirts, but this is a group that right now is in Sweden, and they're training in Sweden, and this is when they were making their way through the airport. And again, the uniforms, A, scream Team Summit to the world, and B, help the coaches keep track of kids as they're making their way around the world. The other thing I want you to know about coats that a lot of people don't understand is that our coats are actually, everybody gets a coat, but nobody buys a coat at Team Summit. And I say that in this way: your tuition money is going towards coaching and the things that your programs need to train your kids out on the slopes. Our coats actually come out of our marketing budget, and that marketing budget gets funds from other sources other than your tuition to be able to put those coats on your kids. And so it's important to us from the marketing perspective, because honestly, that's how most people figure out that, you know, a bunch of kids and they're ripping around the mountain, hopefully being nice kids. And it, you know, it's how people learn about Team Summit, essentially, is through the coach. So that said, as I mentioned, our resort partner, or our partners in general, provide a lot of funding to Team Summit, almost half of our budget. And there's a list of them on your screen right here. And that marketing budget that helps us grow and get word out about Team Summit, you know, that this is, the partners are one of the primary sources for the funding that pays for that. So tuition doesn't pay for your coats, marketing pays for your coats. We're excited for you to have them. We're excited to get them for you, get them to you as quickly as we can, just waiting on delivery. But with that said, I'm going to hand it back to Phil right now. And Phil's going to introduce some of our partners who have some things to share with us this morning.
All right, thank you so much for that, CB, and welcome everybody. We are excited to have you. We are going to be passing it off to Miss Rachel Freeman. Now, for those of you who don't know Miss Rachel Freeman, she is a wonderful human being. She makes every attempt for everybody here to also be able to join or interact with her in very positive lights, not just whenever you are injured. She works for VSO. We have such a great working relationship with VSO. Miss Rachel, if you would not mind unmuting yourself, then we will pass it off to you. Also, just while she's getting to this point, if everybody wants to plug in questions into the chat, please feel free just to message me directly. I'm the events at Team Summit. I did that backwards. There you go. And you can just always shoot me a message. I'm happy to ask questions that way, but we would prefer it if everybody was muted for the presentations. All right, Miss Rachel Freeman from VSO.
Thanks so much, Phil and CB. Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a certified athletic trainer, and this is my 4th season with Team Summit, but I grew up here. So I am on my 34th ski season, and I'm very grateful to keep doing what I love. I think that I have the best job in the world. Vail Summit Orthopedics is so excited to come back as a partner with Team Summit this year. My goal is to keep your kids out on the mountain doing what they love, and that's the doc's goal. So through that, a couple great opportunities. One, that's my direct line at the bottom of the screen. If you need anything, please call me. I have what some describe as a not great work-life balance. I will always answer your phone calls. So if you need me, call me, text me, anything. And if I am out of town, then someone else equally qualified as an athletic trainer will answer that phone. We're here to help you guys keep those kids going and doing what they love. So if something were to happen and it's not hanging out for good stuff, which is always my preference, then our docs at Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery will see your kiddos for free for the first visit. And that is independent of the type of injury. So if they have a rough year and it's a wrist and then an ankle and then a knee and then a concussion, then each one of those initial visits will be free. And we can help you coordinate care either up here in the high country through our offices in Vail, Edwards, and Frisco, or we can help you coordinate it down the Front Range. We also are in Middle Park now, and we just moved into Gunnison, Telluride, and Crested Butte. So you might see Dr. Beam and Dr. Lindsay on those Southern Series races. You'll definitely see me in the Summit County races and the Eagle County races, and then maybe we'll start heading towards Steamboat. We are also facing a staffing crisis. So if you know any great, highly qualified athletic trainers who can ski, send them my way. Would love to have some friends. And then for the parents, we will absolutely see you. I can help you coordinate all that care. I look at it kind of like being a medical quarterback so that you can get in and get seen. The free visit policy does not apply to the parents, unfortunately. And then our urgent care, if you guys are in town and have guests or something happens, our Frisco office is open 7 days a week until 7 p.m. So if something happens and you want to just get it checked out, you want to see what's going on, come see us in Frisco. We are happy to help. And then always I say get care first, call me second, make sure that you're taken care of, and we will go from there. I'm going to try and be at as many events in Summit County as possible. Starting on Thursday, we have our first NORAM race at Copper, and then we just go till June. I love being out with the kids. I love seeing them. The kids are the best part of this job. The worst part of this job is concussions. And real quickly, if your kiddo gets a concussion, we'll take it from there. I have spent a tremendous amount of time coaching the coaches and educating them on signs and symptoms of concussion. And what I wanted to highlight on this slide is this is a state mandated return to play progression. So if your kiddo gets diagnosed with a concussion, per the Colorado law, per US ski and snowboard policy, and per USASA policy, we are required to follow this and do some paperwork at the end to make sure that your kiddos are returning to the snow safely. I'll handle all the paperwork and send it to the right people. Concussion is my life's work, and I have spent a ton of time studying it. I happen to think that the Colorado law is really good. I think that it has really set our kids up for success, where we're not trying to hide concussions so that we are not punitively damaged and punished for having a concussion. The example I always give is when I was on the committee to help rewrite the Idaho law, we had to take out the language in there that said every kid had to see a neurologist, because there's only 2 in the entire state of Idaho. And it was just completely unnecessary and outside the realm of reasonable to send kids from all the way up in the Panhandle in Coeur d'Alene down to Boise to see the neurologist, because that was just cost prohibitive. That is not the case in Colorado. We have great laws. It's graduated, as you can see on the screen. It gently increases their workload so that if their symptoms come back, then we can dial it back and make sure that they're going back out there as safely as possible. And then the last thing I'll talk about is COVID. It's still out there, especially for the little guys as they get vaccinated these days. So if your kiddo gets a COVID quarantine from school or from another sport, please just email it to me directly and I will guide you from there. The coaches and I have spent a fair amount of time again this year working on what our COVID protocol looks like. I am so emotionally and eternally grateful that we don't have to have COVID police at races, and I no longer have to stand up there and encourage parents to leave. And I'm looking forward to a much better year with COVID. I will always take help on the race course, and it'll be great. And I look forward to seeing everybody out there. I'm going to make you nauseous real quick and switch back to that slide. So if you need to write down my number or my email, or if anybody has any questions, please feel free to shout them out. I'm going to hang on for the orientation for a little bit. So if you think of something later on, feel free to reach out to me directly in the chat. Thanks, Phil. I look forward to seeing everybody out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. Rachel, I'm looking at the chat and you are getting so much love from everybody. Honestly, I do have to agree. You are the best. Thank you so much for taking such great care of us. You are absolutely fantastic.
Phil, real quick, before Rachel gets away from us, there is a question in here that Rachel can answer. Does our athlete need a concussion baseline? If so, are there recommended clinics to go to get this completed? Rachel?
Oh, thanks, DB. Yes, I will do baseline testing. You can reach out directly to me. I am happy to do that. We use the program called Impact Test. I have caught most of the Alpine kids and the Park and Pike kids that are full-time. So if I've missed your child in the course of doing that, please reach out directly and we can either do it from home or we can do it in the office and we can make that happen. So that's a great question.
Is that still 12 years old and older?
Yep, the recommendation is 12 years. There is a version for kids 5 to 11. It's just not my favorite test. And it's quite expensive. And then the recommendation is that they take a baseline every year. so that we can see their growth and their changes and we have valid data to compare it to.
Gotcha. So 12 and over, baseline testing repeated every year. Thank you. Okay. You're on mute, Phil. There we go.
Alrighty then. So we will pass this along. I don't know about everybody else here, but I am very, very excited for the ski season. And very fortunately, all of our partner resorts have created hype videos to help us get ready for that ski season. I don't know, it really doesn't matter which mountain you're at. We're going to have a great year. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, but there's a couple of catered messages. So let's kick this off. And just so everybody knows, I always like to do this in alphabetical order. So we will start off with Arapahoe Basin.
You're muted.
Thank you. Fun fact there from Daniel McFadden. The kids on the snowblades in that video are actually Team Summit athletes, just in case anybody was wondering there. All right, we have a quick hype video from Breckenridge Ski Area. All right. That's a great way to get stoked. Breck, as everybody might know here, opened yesterday. It was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, we'll keep on moving through. We are gonna shift over to Copper Mountain. This is also where our admin office is located. So, here we go with the Athletes Mountain. All right, that was Copper Mountain right there. Um, just fun fact, I worked with one of the girls who was shown multiple times in that video. She is absolutely fantastic. She is not only a CAD operator, but she's also a snowmaker. She worked with me on the competitions crew. She is just a fantastic human. If you ever see a girl who is wearing that teal helmet and she comes out to about here, she's not very tall. But she is incredibly rad. Copper has such a great staff. All right. Last but never least is Keystone. Alrighty then. So, those were our 4 partner resorts right there. We absolutely love working with them. They have treated us so well and have provided so many amazing opportunities for all of our kids to train and achieve their personal podiums. So, just whenever you're over there, represent us well and just say, hey, we are stoked to be partnering with you guys. They are absolutely all fantastic human beings at all of these resorts. Mr. CB, I would like to pass it over to you. You look like you have our website pulled up. What are you going to show us?
Well, okay, first I'm going to get unmuted. Yeah, so first thing I want to say, just following up on what Phil said about our resort partners, obviously without ski resorts, we're not much of a ski and snowboard club. Definitely appreciative of them, but on a whole nother level, with the opportunities they give us, those resort partners contribute just over $1 million of in-kind support to Team Summit every year. And that's everything from passes to hosting events to discounted passes for athletes, designated hill space for us to train on for sports that need closed venues, that kind of thing. So we need to show our appreciation for them as much as possible, because they really do give a lot to us, and we are completely dependent on them to be able to be the organization that we are. And we're fortunate compared to pretty much every other organization like ours in the country. Who have one world-class or one resort supporting them. We're fortunate to have 4 of literally the best resorts in the world that are our training grounds for Team Summit. So I mean, we've got advantages that no one else in the world has when it comes to this competitive ski and snowboard stuff. So anyway, moving on. I've got our webpage up here because we are turning the fire hose on you guys today, and we are going to just pour information down your throats all day long. And when I first came to Team Summit, I'm starting my 5th season. About halfway through my first season, a parent would call in to the office and they'd ask a question, and people, the people that were answering the phone were going, well, we told you about that in orientation. It quickly realized that we're giving you so much information today that retaining it all is not a realistic expectation. And in addition to that, you need access to the information when you want access to the information, not when we want to give you that information. So right now we're giving you the information, but something's going to come up in January, February, March, and you're going to go, oh, I don't remember that. So we wiped our website, completely rebuild it, and we rebuild it under the model of let's give people the information they need when they're looking for the information. So first place always to go to find out a question that you have about Team Summit is our webpage. I just have it up here so you can see it, teamsummit.org. We got a great under Join Team Summit. We've got a great FAQ here where we answer a lot of questions that you have. You can go in there and search it. Our directors and others do blog posts here. You can find calendars for your team, how to volunteer, events, our team store. So anyway, big deal. The website, it's been designed to give you information when you're looking for information, and so start there. Of course, if you can't find the information, call us at the office, and we won't say it's on the website, or we won't say we told you that in orientation. We'll be helpful and help you find it, because we know it's as hard as you try, it's not always easy to, even with a robust website, to be able to find the information that you need. So just a little tip there for you. And then one more comment on the coach as I'm switching back to my presentation here. And that is what we didn't tell you, what I didn't tell you earlier is the delay on the coats is not because we delayed ordering them. We ordered our coats in February of this year. So, we ordered them before they were made. And so the delay is not a Team Summit delay. It is just the struggles related to COVID and global supply chain that's preventing those from coming from us. So, all right, now the stuff that gets me excited. Who is Team Summit? Our motto at Team Summit is elevating youth. About every club like ours in the country has a similar type of motto, and we're going to talk about mission and vision and core values, and it's pretty similar at most clubs. But having done this, like I said, for 36 years, what I've found is that not every club really leans into, embraces, and drives how their organization operates from their mission, vision, and values. And that's a cultural thing that's, I think, sets Team Summit apart from most of our peers, is that, while we are excited about your kids getting to be better skiers and snowboarders and going to competitions and doing well and that type of thing, in the end, we're excited about making your kids better human beings. And that's really important to us here. And we use the competitive skiing, snowboarding as our place or our tool or delivery vehicle to be able to help your kids become better human beings. Our vision statement: whole athlete, whole team, whole community. It's not just about your kid, but it is about your kid. And it's about your whole kid, not just the skier or snowboarder kid. We have opportunities to support your kid in many other ways. We do that in a team environment. Despite being an individual sport, we believe being part of a team, one, helps deliver life skills that they will take throughout their life and help them to be successful. And we also believe that in a team environment, the teammates can push each other to higher levels and raise the bar for everybody on the team. And then find the whole community. I was privileged to learn skiing from some Austrians who ran a little ski area in Ohio. And one of the things that the ski school director actually said to me is that stuck with me, decades later, is that being a professional in skiing and snowboarding doesn't mean you've got a pass to be the cockiest, most arrogant person on the mountain and put yourself above other people. Being a professional but it's more than being a professional. Being an elite skier or snowboarder really it is about being the person who does everything in their power to build and promote the sport and make the sport exciting for everybody who wants to participate in it. And so giving back to the ski and snowboard community, and the greater community that supports us and what we do at Team Summit is important to us as well. So competitive skiing and snowboarding is awesome. We want to be a lot more than just a competitive ski and snowboard team. We want to be people who develop great human beings and give back to the sport and community that brought us to this place. Our mission statement: we're a youth development organization empowering our athletes to realize and celebrate their personal podiums through athletics, education, and life skills by participating in innovative programming at our world-class venues. And so we have great programming. We have world-class venues, but you can see, through athletics, education, and life skills, we want to empower our kids more than just what they do out there when they're sliding around on the mountain. We want to provide tools to kids to succeed in whatever they choose to do and whatever they're passionate about in their life. As we move through this, I want to introduce to you Bruce McLennan. Bruce is the president of our board of directors. He's been in that role for quite a while and been on our board even longer than that. And he would like to share a message from our board and take care of a little business we have to do this morning as well. So Bruce, go for it.
Good morning. How are you? Glad to see everybody here, kind of virtually, if at that. But I wanted to take a couple of minutes, introduce myself again. And my name is Bruce McLennan. I am current board president. I've been around the team since probably the early 2000s. I've had a son who's come through the program, has aged out, still been active in competitive skiing through college. And at this point, I am now a board member rather than starting as what many of you are starting as now, as a parent, being involved at the volunteer level. That's really kind of the progression of how it is that I've come through the organization, still here. CB, do you want to go to that next slide? We'll talk about okay, we're going to go back to the core values. So it's interesting when you see the core values, because CB was talking about the mission and vision and the other components. This is really what kind of begins to tie everything together. This is one of the things that if you look at it on the website, and I actually have in front of me kind of the way it shows up as a list. And this is the kind of a scenario that if you look at it first and you kind of go down that list, it says, excellence, respect, integrity, responsibility, fun, and family. But it doesn't really work that way. It really works from the bottom up. This is one of those things that as we began to look at what it is that we stand for as an organization and how it is that we actually go about creating better people, better citizens, which is really our goal in this whole process. Everything starts with family. With that family, that's where we all kind of get started. You decide that maybe your athlete is a little bit more interested in what's going on than maybe necessarily just doing it on a casual basis. But it all starts with the family, and the family works together as a unit. With that then comes the fun. That's really one of the most rewarding parts of all of this. And it's something we're always looking at. We're always trying to make sure we're focusing on the fact that our athletes are having fun. If they're not having fun, there's no real reason to be doing these things. And we can point to many, many situations in many sports, even outside of what we're doing, where the kids just aren't having fun. And by not having fun, they're not really enjoying what it is that they're actually doing. From there, we go to the scenario of responsibility. With all of that fun, you now have to have the self-confidence and the responsibility to be able to handle this. That's a component, one of the next components that we really get involved with as we grow. Coming then next would be the integrity that comes with the responsibility. Having integrity to actually foster the character that we're trying to foster within every individual and every athlete. Next is the respect, and that is the piece that comes along promoting values and starting to really get to the point where we can start to wrap some of these pieces together. And then finally, the excellence. And excellence for us is defined in a lot of different ways. Excellence has to do with the whole scenario of what it is you do from a personal podium standpoint. It isn't necessarily going to be the fact that you are the FIS athlete or the person who ends up at the World Cup. It may be pretty exciting that you are the kid who this year is going to be carrying your own equipment. Parents out there love to make sure that everybody's working with their own stuff rather than us necessarily taking care of everything for them. But everything from carrying your own equipment to having your personal best as far as what that opportunity really was out on the mountain, or maybe not on the mountain. Maybe that was in school. And from an academics perspective, you put all that together, and we have our motto, which is elevating youth. And you can see our skimo individual, now that we have skimo, our skimo athlete working their way up the peak, ties all of this together. And as you get to the bottom, you can also think about our whole athlete, whole team, and whole community at the base of this podium. So this is at the pyramid. This is one of those opportunities kind of explain those values rather than just looking at a list. Okay. CB, let's go to that next slide. I wanted to talk for a moment about the excellence of the program. A few years back, US Ski and Snowboard at this point, what used to be USSA, instituted a certification process for these programs. And I'm proud to announce the Team Summit has been for a while now and still is, excuse me, a gold certified program. And this is really quite a big deal because there really only are about 5 to 10% of all the podium clubs achieving gold. And it allowed us to really show what it is that we have as an organization. You can see some quotes over on the left that came out of the report from teams or from the US Ski and Snowboard, talking about some of the strength of our leadership, some of our programming, our outstanding organization. It was obvious to them that we would be a very strong gold participant. And as it is right now, you're going to see quite a few scenarios where we have member organizations that are out there that are calling us and asking us, how do you do this, and what it is that we're doing? How does that affect what's going on with the athletes and what it is can they do to kind of mimic that and maybe improve what it is they're doing. So I just wanted to point out that this is a very strong program, and you are a part of all of that that's going on at the same time. So I'd like to talk for a minute about the board and committees. The board itself is a governance agency, and within that, we are not involved in daily decisions having to do with logistics or any of the day-to-day activities. We are in a governance scenario. But in order to help us do that, we do have committees that are active, that we utilize talent from outside and from inside the organization. I'd like to encourage you to think about potentially being involved in committee work. You don't have to stand out on the hill in the middle of the winter and freeze yourself to death to get your VSO time covered. If you have a propensity towards one of these areas, advancement, which is the marketing and the advancement of the brand, finance, governance itself, scholarship. We have skee ball, which is a component of advancement, policy, and we do have a couple people on the board that are already policy oriented, safety, long range planning, any of these kinds of things. If you have a skill set that really brings you towards some of these, let us know. You can let us know in the chat. You can reach out to Phil, or you can reach out to Rodney and Rodney Robinson, and I think he'll be introduced in a little bit here too. But we're interested in working with you and putting you in a committee role if you have that interest. And the general progression is, if in fact you find that that's working and it's something that you're very interested in, you may even find yourself in more of a board capacity at a later date. It's kind of the beginnings of what we do starts in the committees. So I encourage you to reach out, let us know. When we've been in person, I've been standing out there in the lobby going, I'm right here, you can come and talk to me. Can't do that here. So use any of the tools that are available to reach out. You can use the chat function and such to let us know. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you contact us and get you involved in what's going on. So one of the things that we have to do in this meeting is an annual election of the officers of the actual board members themselves. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce to you the slate, and then we're going to actually open a formal meeting and ask for your approval. You'll be able to use that reactions button on the bottom of the Zoom screen. You'll see there's an icon towards mine. It's a little bit towards the right, but it's down on the bottom, and you'll be able to give us the thumbs up if you so agree. So I wanted to introduce the board members for renewal and for the slate this year. First, Bill Jackson. Bill's in the county. He is with Forest Service. Kathy Christina. Kathy is a realtor in Breckenridge. You've probably heard her stuff quite a bit. Alex Salem is not running this year. Dave Little is with Breckenridge. And Abby Dvorkin is new to us and is an attorney in Denver. So we also have a 2-year term at this point, and that would be myself, Bruce McLennan. I'm a recovering architect, retired recently. Art Graper, private wealth individual in Denver. Steve Steck is in human resources. Ann Gish is an attorney in Denver, and our current treasurer, our current secretary, Art Graper, is our current treasurer. Sean McDonald, known as Woody. Woody is with Copper. Bill Ramsey, also with Copper. Kathy Stang is in the human relations, also human resources. So with that slate, minus Alex Salem, who is not running at this point, I'd like to open a board meeting, an official meeting at, what time is it right now? 9:48. And if you would give us your reaction, thumbs up is great, or if you have specific concerns, you can register those. And we'll go ahead, and I'm going to then formally close the meeting at 9:49. Or at 9:49, we will look at the results and tally those, and we'll publish those as we are done. So I thank you very much for your participation.
Okay, Bruce, thank you. Again, hit that reaction button, thumbs up, thumbs down on the slate of board of directors. Let me get us through just the last couple things here, and I will make this quick, but like, this is the exciting stuff for me. So want to talk to you about some buzzwords and catchphrases. First one you're going to hear us talk about a lot is being process oriented. By process oriented, what we mean is that when it comes to the athletic side of things, we don't focus on winning. We focus on the next step. What's the next step in the process to make your athlete a better skier and snowboarder? And so, and it is our belief that by being focused on the process rather than on the result, that is what will take us to the result side of what we do athletically here at Team Summit. It's playing out good. We had last season just I mean, we have hundreds of kids, but you know, our process-oriented focus can get you to the top of the sport for sure. We had the overall Rev Tour winner in snowboard and free skiing last year. 2 athletes named to the U.S. ski team, and you know, athletes competing all the way up to the World Cup while part of Team Summit. So by being process-oriented, we can get you there. Personal podiums. Not everybody is going to get to the World Cup. We know that. I've literally coached tens of thousands of kids, or at least been involved in them, and a very small number of them get to that level. But everybody has the opportunity to improve not only in their skiing and snowboarding, academically, and in your life skills. And so those personal podiums are something that coaches work with the athletes, and it's about your athlete and getting them to the next step. It's personal to your kid, and it's about, again, being process oriented, moving them to the next step. Once you get out of, so we're structured with a progression of how kids move through Team Summit, and you know, if they stay with Team Summit. And so we start at the intro to Team Summit level. Great opportunity where kids learn a very solid fundamental skill base and get to participate in all the different types of competition that eventually they could focus into. And so as they move through that intro program, they start wanting a little more, starting to find a little bit more focus. Intro is 1 day a week. They can move to a 2 day a week Devo program that begins to narrow their focus in what type of competition they would like to do. On the skiing side, you know, racing versus free skiing. As they're in that Devo world and they start to do some competitions and stuff like that, the kids continue to grab focus in their interest, then they can move to a comp program, and comp programs again narrow the focus and start moving us towards a more a more competitive side of the sport. And for the kids who are really into it, we have an academy program. We have multiple resort partners that we work with, and those resort partners, or not resort partners, we do work with resort partners, but academic partners, and they help those kids be able to have academic success while at the same time essentially training and competing at a full-time level, 5 to 6 days a week. So so that's how kids can flow through Team Summit as they grow in the sport. Fundamentals, I talked about that. U.S. Ski and Snowboard Association is the national governing body for skiing and snowboarding competition. They have a program called Skills Quest that's our curriculum. So, you know, if you'll hear more about this during your breakout sessions with your individual programs, but that's our core curriculum is Skills Quest. And then one more thing I want you guys to know is and this is as much for the general public as it is for the people on this call, is that we are a youth development organization, not a youth developed organization. And what I mean by that is that, you know, we get complaints, oh, you know, a bunch of little kids came and dumped their skis on the snow and rushed into and rushed into the lodge and blocked the door. And, you know, those kids aren't developed yet, but if those kids stay with Team Summit, after a few years with Team Summit, they're going to care so much about those skis that they're not going to want to leave them on the snow. They're going to know those are an important tool to what they're doing as an athlete out there on the mountain, and they're going to take the care to put them on the ski rack. But kids don't start there. They have to grow to that point. So just want you to know we're a development, not a developed organization, and kids are always learning and growing. That's what we're about here. We don't anticipate only taking perfect kids, but we certainly hope to move them towards being that type of person. In general, at Team Summit, we want to be known as the best skiers and riders, best skiers and snowboarders on the mountain, and we also want to be known as the nicest, most considerate skiers and riders and snowboarders on the mountain. So that's where we're going at Team Summit. And then to wrap it up, we're almost there. I'll make it within the minute. What's your role as a parent at Team Summit? What or as a sports parent in general? What do you do to make this successful? So talking about that, kids participate in sports because it's fun. Actually, a lot of kids participate in youth sports because their parents signed them up for it, and they're just stuck into it. But kids stay in youth sports because it's fun, because they build a community, and because they're building deep friendships. At another organization that I was part of, there were 33 different schools that were represented in the athletes in that organization, but the core friendships those kids had were their ski club friends, not their school friends. And you know, that's who was standing up. That's who ended up standing up at their weddings and things like that. So you know, fun, community, that's friendships. That's why kids continue in team sports. Win or lose, if they have those components, that they will keep wanting to be part of Team Summit. So 2 things I can promise you. 1, you will never have a perfect coaching situation. But 2 is you can always have a perfect parenting situation. Paula Parker, friend of mine, former executive director here at Team Summit, that's a quote from her. But it's absolutely true. You know, coaches, we want them to be perfect. They aren't necessarily, but they're giving it their all out there. But you as a parent really shape how your kid perceives their coaches, and that's how you parent your kid as a sports parent. So what do your kids want from you? I would say also need from you. They need support and encouragement. They need you to let them know that you are proud of them. They need you to watch them ski, ride, jump, you know, whatever they're doing out there. They want you to watch them, shows that they care. To praise them for their efforts. This is important, for their efforts, not their results. Praise them for their investment in what they do in the sport. And they need you to understand their sport and show an interest in being involved. So again, watching them, taking them, but learning about it and being able to talk to them about it, that's important. And then they need you to have realistic expectations of their abilities and you know, what they're willing to invest in. If you can do those things, your kids will win from having you as their youth sports parent. So in 2 words, your role as a Team Summit parent is to give your kids unconditional love and support for what they're doing here at Team Summit. And that's it. Thank you guys for your time and your attention this morning, and look forward to seeing you and your kids out there on the mountain suit. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much there, CB. Inspirational as always. So some people might have some questions about what is coming up next. If you go to teamsummit.org/family orientation, you can see this wonderful page, and it has all of the links here. I will be dropping this call in about 30 seconds and joining the all alpine session. Others coming up at 10 o'clock are the snowboard 10 a.m. and then you can see the rest of the schedule here. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. We really appreciate everybody being here, and we look forward to all of the information that we're going to have, but more importantly, we're looking forward to an amazing, great season. Moguls, that is coming up a little bit later. I see that question from Taylor, but please join the All Free Ski update if you are on the Mogul team. That is at 2 p.m. Colorado time. Thank you. I've got a question about Cross as well. Cross, please join the all free ski session. I know that yours is getting scheduled for later. Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate everyone's help. And yeah, let's have a great season. We'll see you all at the breakout sessions.